Hello, welcome to this mid-side EQ tutorial. Now, I've been asked a question about what is mid and side and how can you help me understand it better. So, in a very quick demonstration with this purposely composed melody, I'm going to show you what mid and side does. Now, in the track, we have the synth and we have a kick drum. Now, if we just unmute this in the mixer. Okay, so they're totally unprocessed, there's nothing to them, but as you can see on the synth I've added an instance of Pro EQ 2. Now it doesn't matter what EQ you use, if it supports mid and side that's all you need. So let's mute that kick. Now there's information in here which we can really bring out. Now the difference between the mid and the side, that is the question. The mid is more of the centre of the stereo image, so you can create a stereo image using your left and right, your pan controls, and just generally space things out evenly in the mix, give them their own space. But the mid is more of a controller of just pushing it in and out slightly of the centre. It just puts it into mono really, depending on how drastic you go. I tend not to use mid. I use side a lot more because the side is the edges of the stereo image. So it's the sparkly bits, it's the reverb, it's the delay, it's the things that happen in the background right on the edges of your stereo field, and it just enhances its spatial awareness and makes it feel wider to the listener. So if we just demonstrate side here, I'm going to pick here because I can see these notes hitting where the melody is kind of residing. So we're going to go crazy and we're going to boost it to 6 and we're going to set it to side mode. Now we can tell something's happened, but we don't know quite what if you don't know what you're looking for. So we'll go drastic here. If we listen to this whole bell shape here, you can hear it's all the very edge side details, the very fine tips, and it's enhancing that reverb, that delay, and that kind of sparkle in the melody. And it really does push it out of the mix a little bit better, especially when there's a lot of things going on. So if we just listen to that bypassed, the melody just shrinks and sticks to the centre again. It just sounds like you've done nothing, which essentially we haven't. But with the aid of mid and side, we can really bring out that sparkle, really bring out the bits we really want to be heard, the bits that you like. Now, as I said before, mid I don't tend to use. It does return things to mono, but I could demonstrate that here by just making a curve. You can hear it turns it into mono. Now there are practical areas to use this, I just tend not to use it at all really, but there is a good trick that we can use side to reduce the signal to mono, which is it's a very good technique, to be honest. If we just grab this kick drum, let's just unmute it. And we're going to load another instance of Pro EQ 2 and we're going to change this to mid and side. Now if we activate side mode, and we're going to use this high pass here, and we're going to drag this up. There's not much difference, but what this has done is it changes this whole area pre to this line into mono, keeping that area out of the stereo field, giving more space to the upper areas, and we don't really notice if we boosted here with a side signal. You're not going to notice anything. It's just going to really muddy up your mix. It's going to add unnecessary things that you do not need in that low area. You kind of need to keep that as clean and tight as possible. So that is something you don't do, but you can use the side to just reduce it into mono, and I tend to do this just slightly covering into the bass area. It depends what track you're making and where everything sits in your mix. But this particular kick, we'll just have that there. So it doesn't mean that I've rolled that off, because if I change that to EQ mode, I've cut off the bass. So we're essentially reducing it into mono, which is what we really want to do with the kick drum. And then we can change this one. Let's get the right one selected there. And we can boost it, and we can do the usual roll off here. And what that does is really puts the kick in its place. It really centres it and kind of gives it the drive the track needs. You can hear there's a lot of stereo data there. You can hear it, and as soon as you put it into mono, it really it gives it that punch back, because it's not trying to fight for space where the synth is playing, and it really separates them out. And it's a really good technique to learn. It's not something you can pick up overnight. It takes a lot of understanding, and as I always say, I don't claim to know everything. Everything that I am sharing with you is kind of learn as I go, and I like to understand it before I tell you. So that is how mid and side works, and a practical idea of where to use it in your mix. If we just play this one final time, and I'll just keep bypassing and activating the plugins just so you can hear what is going on with that processing. So as you can hear, it's flattened to the centre, and the kick has more stereo image, and then the kick has a more solid centre to give the track some drive, and the synth is floating around in the stereo field, thus giving the feeling of a wider space within the mix. So if you can imagine that with the strings and the plucks, everything else, it's going to sound amazing, and it really will transform your mix. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like to subscribe, just hit that subscribe button if you liked what you saw. Everything else is up to you. I don't tell you what to do. If you like it, like it. If you don't, dislike it. It really does help me, because then I can tailor the videos to what you really want. So I will see you again very soon. Sorry I haven't done any videos recently. Just changed jobs, so it's been a bit of a struggle to keep on top of this. But now that I'm getting more requests and I'm getting more of you amazing subscribers out there, I'm going to start doing more videos for you now. And it's going to be, there's going to be a few based on an album that I am putting together, that I'm working on, and so you'll probably get some sneak previews of tracks there, and the album's not actually complete yet, so there are 3 more tracks to go on, and this melody here might be one of the melodies that I add into the mix. We'll see. So until then, have a great day and check out my other videos. Thank you.